Ori, welcome to our round of interviews with interesting ideas and solutions on urban tech. Welcome with your solutions. To get a first idea of what you're doing and what your company is doing, can you tell us a short success story from your perspective and maybe from your customer side as well?
The success is, I think, is that we are able to actually deliver wireless power over the air for meters range. And in our perspective, the success is that we're the first installation of over-the-air wireless power was done here in Tel Aviv, by the way, with a German company. And though it's not published yet, I think mankind can be happy about the fact that he has a new toy, and that's the ability to deliver power over the air. Does this qualify as success?
That sounds great. Yeah, can you give us some more details on what you're doing with it? What's the difference between Wi-Charge and your solutions and what we can get from other providers?
Okay, that's a good question. Wireless power or wireless charging is a term that has already been used in the past. And usually when you say wireless charging, people envision phones on a charging pad. That's wireless. There's no wire going between them. But it's very limited to proximity charging. Okay? It means that you have to place your device on a pad, and the specific pad has to have a wire coming out of it charging the devices. In our solution, you can simply place the device anywhere, like Wi-Fi, and they will charge automatically. Over the air, 10 meters range, that's where our comfort zone is. We already tested 100, but as a company, we are focusing on indoor applications. And the cool thing is just place it anywhere. The device, our transmitter, will detect the client device and will charge it without you, Helge, interfering or needed to do something for charging to take place. That's the main difference. Another difference is the ability to deliver high power for small receivers that you can actually embed in consumer electronic devices. That's the benefit of Wi-Charge.
And when we look at company solutions that are delivered on a broader scale, what are you looking for your solutions? What is your favorite customer, so to speak? Are you looking for companies that are building office space, or what is it that you're looking for?
So basically what Wi-Charge was able to develop is a building block, is a wireless power supply. When you have a wireless power supply, you basically want as many customers as possible to enjoy it and to innovate around it. So we want to be like Intel is for computers. You have Intel inside, or like Qualcomm is for communication, the chip that enables wireless digital communication. We want to be the chips that enables your device to be wirelessly powered. And then we offer those chips to OEMs that can be Samsung, Apple, Amazon, Google, Hansgrohe, you name it. OEMs that are designing products, and by using wireless power, they can elevate the functionality and also allow freedom for devices. So we are not very, it's not that we have a specific place we want to be installed, either commercial or residential or private or whatever. It can be anything from medical to smart home devices, assuming we provide value for these devices by allowing them the freedom of power.
So how does it work actually when I will give you a call, say I'm interested in your applications, I am a provider for office space, say I'm doing installations in office space and I need these remote works of electricity that you're offering. How how do I get you on board? How do you get me on board?
Okay, so usually we work at the beginning with OEMs because we provide them the wireless power capability, and then they offer to you, the office, the facility management at the office, with a new solution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the way we work with OEMs, usually the OEMs approach us, and then we try to understand if they are a fit for the first generation. Fit means the power requirements, the cost requirements, the size requirements, the use case requirement. If it turns out that everything is within our capabilities and their requirements, we move to the second phase of a technology evaluation. They get the sample and they test it independently. And after that, after they manage successfully to evaluate the technology, we get into a more intimate collaboration of a joint project together.
One special case that you brought on very quickly was providing ideas and solutions for the current pandemic, especially when it comes to hand sanitizing and so on. So let's focus on this specific case as an idea, as a case study for what you're doing. What was the idea that you had to include Wi-Charge into hand sanitizing?
First of all, we were a bit lucky. We started the project before COVID-19 outbreak.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes, we demonstrated it actually at CES. One of the devices was with Hans Grohe, which you probably know better than me. Sloan, a US company, probably the largest player in the US for touchless sanitation. Gojo Purell, the hand sanitizers dispensers.
Okay.
And I'll take, for example, the product with Hans Grohe. We demonstrated the ability to take a faucet and make it a smart faucet with wireless power now that you have availability of power. And this faucet can educate people, kids, hospital personnel, food restaurants and personnel on the importance of washing hands. And by coincidence, our investor said, okay, it was a good idea, but why did you have to release the coronavirus to prove it?
So we found the fault. Okay, you were the cause of this. Okay, no,
yes.
Okay.
So coincidentally, the coronavirus outbreak occurred roughly in Europe and in Israel late February. Mm-hmm. And immediately, or not immediately, the World Health Organization and the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, said that really, if you want to prevent coronavirus contamination, you need to do two things. One is wear masks, and two is wash your hands. But wash your hands not like this and that's it, not for 2 seconds. You actually have to scrub your hands and wash them for a longer period of time. And today, when you ask, you don't know if kids in school, how long they wash their hands, no hospital personnel or your worker at the office. Either it's 2 seconds, either it's 5 seconds, or either it's nothing. And we're able to monitor the usage profile, length and number of times, even prior to educating the users. By knowing, you can start the feedback, the interventional feedback of saying, okay, we have a problem. Let's find ways to increase the hygiene level. Mm-hmm. And that value proposition is very compelling both to the OEMs and to the end customers.
So basically, to sum it up, you can add smart applications to an analog tool like a faucet because it can be charged remotely rather than installing electricity or larger batteries to it. That's
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
Very nice. Okay, so to sum things up, if we take a look at the startup ecosystem or the technology ecosystem in Israel, and to have an idea of how your company is placed in this ecosystem, can you give us an idea what you think is the advantage of having a technology company like yours is in Israel? Is that an advantage to have? Do you have specific advantages to give you traction?
It's an advantage and a disadvantage. Okay, the disadvantage is easily summarized. We're usually away from the market. Israel is a very small country, and the market is usually within the US, Europe, Japan, China, and we are away. We are not located inside the market. That's usually a burden to sales and funding. You can do both easily outside Israel. The advantage in Israel is that we are, I think by nature are more, we like risk. So I don't know if like risk is the right word, but we're not afraid of risk. So it helps us overcome the barrier of starting a company. The other thing is we enjoy two things because it's a small country. Everyone knows everyone, and if you have a problem, you can ask this and that, and you immediately get a question, an answer. It doesn't take long. And the other thing is, since we all need to go to the army, it's mandatory here in Israel. There are special elite technology units in the army that are doing very interesting stuff, high-end technology, cutting-edge technology, and they are able to pick the best engineers, the best physicists, the best mathematicians, the best software coders from the university, from top elite programs, bring them together, and then get them to work together and educate them, provide them very complex problems, but with a lot of responsibility. That's something usually young people don't get to do. After long years in the army, those people are spread across the industry, and it's easy for them to build teams because they know already the partners. Mm-hmm. And you know, he's a top notch, he's a top notch, he's a top notch. You got to work with him time and time and again. So it's very easy to group them together. And by the way, the startup industry here in Israel, the tech industry here in Israel is very much reliant on those veterans. So in this way, it's an advantage.
So does that count for you too? Do you come from an engineering background from the IDF?
Yes, our company was founded. The founding team and most of the companies from our elite technology unit, we serve together in an elite technology unit that we also received twice the Israeli Defense Award. It's the highest and most prestigious award in the Israeli establishment for technology excellence and contribution. And it's a mixture of, at least in our organization, and you can delete me from this section, very skilled, very intelligent people with low ego, and this allows very high synergy. Mm-hmm. So yes, we are veterans of that unit, and I'm very grateful for the education it provided me.
So speaking of synergies, to sum things up as a last question, since you just summarized the advantages that you have from the Israeli ecosystem, you also mentioned that you did work with Hans Grohe as a German company, for example. Is that a success story as well, that Israeli tech companies work with German, bigger manufacturers or something. Is that something that works very well in your experience, or are there complications?
I'll give you my perspective.
Of course,
okay?
That's what I'm asking.
Without going into too many details, without exposing commercial status or technical status, I can tell you that we have 3 partners in Germany that are highly relevant to the success story of Wi-Charge. Companies I really consider as partners, as personal friends, that made this happen. Without that, Wi-Charge maybe can't happen. It's not the right word, but it wouldn't have been so fun doing this process. And what I really like about the German people is their, besides their kindness, or at least in our case, is their level of professionalism. Okay, you know it's a trustworthy situation. You know you'd get the results. And you know it's a relationship you can trust on. So, and it is relevant for at least 3 cases in Wi-Charge history and future.
Okay, so Ori, thank you very much for your insight and your ideas. And I'm pretty sure we'll see you again sometime in the German context, speaking, especially since you have made such positive advantages with other companies as well. Best of luck with your work, and hope to see you soon in some kind of way in Germany. Thank you.
Thank you. Hope so too.